the front where it would have put me in front of it. Like I basically was like, all right, he's going to hit me. I got nowhere to go. Time to do a box jump and tuck and roll basically. Right. So, so I think it was a huge factor in and it gave me something like a positive outlet afterwards to kind of keep pushing through, go to the gym, get there every day. Right. So
you went back pretty.
Yeah. I started at physiotherapy 2 days after the incident. And the guy's like, yeah, when did this happen? I'm like, Tuesday or Monday or whatever it was. And he's like, okay, yeah, it's pretty swollen. I can't really get too much to it now, but this is what we can do. So I started the recovery process right away. I didn't, so let's get at this.
Okay. So that's, was that helping you or were you still not there?
Going to, you mean at the fitness?
Yeah. Was that helping you recover or you still were?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was the biggest thing I would say I was only couple of days, almost a week after the incident before I went in. A lot of that too was just because I was having that sensory overload and I just couldn't, I was kind of starting to shut down a little bit. But my common law partner, she's a beauty, and she was like, yeah, you got to keep at the gym. Like just go in. I don't care if you just do arm curls, just do something. Right. And it was good because it kept me getting out of the house whenever I was not wanting to. And at least for that one task for the day. Right.
Joe Rogan, the famous everything.
Famous Joe.
He talks about you've got to get your body active and you've got to challenge it or your brain will eat your body. And there's nothing. So on that, where did swimming in the ice lake, where did that come in?
So basically what happened was I was like, what do I got to lose? Right. Like I've been off work. I think I was off work for a good 3 months by that point.
It's a long time
or more. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, I got to figure something out. Like I'm tired of just, like through the medication and the psychologist, the team was great and they are great. They're keeping me going through the rough patches. But I feel like I was just kind of like, I got to try something. Like I got to do something here. So I just started going down the rabbit hole of like the Wim Hof method, cold water therapy, the benefits of it. And I ended up taking a course on sleep, stress, and recovery. And a lot of the stuff in there is talking about your central nervous system and your fight or flight and all this. And I was like, man, like this is all the shit I'm going through. So it really kind of opened up a lot of doors and just started. I went down the rabbit hole. I was just like, all right, and started like researching it, looking into it. And I was like, well, I got a frozen lake right there because we're fortunate. We live on a lake just outside town. Yeah. I was like, well, fuck, there's a lake right there. Why don't I just go chop a hole in it and see if it can help? And the first time I was like, that was amazing. And then I was like, all right, well, let's try it again. So
what did you feel the first time you did it? How long did you do it for the first time? And what did you feel? Did you then transition from cold to something else?
No. So that was one of the things I liked about it was, or that I read when people were saying that you, like the thermogenesis kind of effect. So letting your body naturally warm up. And two, it was kind of like it was almost like a little mental test for me, or a little like resilience test where I just kind of was like, oh yeah, I'll warm myself up inside standing here. And, it was good. Like, I just kind of like legit played around with it. And then it was kind of like a fun thing. People are like, why you hate the cold weather? Like, why are you going out and freezing yourself?
How long do you go in for?
So I started off at I think the first time I went 45 seconds to a minute. Yeah. And then I got up, I think the longest time was almost 7 minutes. So yeah, I've kind of been around there. I'd try to get at least 3 minutes. But yeah, it was good. I can't meditate. Like I can't chill out enough to really meditate per se. But yeah, I got it. You have to whenever you're in there. And that's what I found was so interesting was, I'd be in there and I'd be thinking of other stuff and kind of chilled right out. And it's super quiet here too, right? So it was just nice and peaceful.
So the famous Joe Dispenza talks about how we have to try and stay in the present, but we spend so much time looking forward and looking backwards and we forget about the present. So I, as you know, love my ice baths, either swimming in the ocean or getting in a bin with ice. So
Yeah.
for you, so you've got all this stuff going on. When you get in the ice, is it fair to say that because of the resilience and the concentration, your focus, you are completely just in the now?
Yeah. And it was pretty, because I know people always talk about mindfulness and being present, but it's hard. Like, I come from like I said, like an old school policing family. My mother was very in tune. She was a doctor of acupuncture, natural medicine. So I kind of grew up around that too. So I was pretty body aware. Like I said, I caught it pretty quick, being like, no, something's not right. I need help here. Like,
well, it sounds like you've picked it up very quickly, because people can go on for years before they, and no offense to Western medicine, but medicines which do help people, they're not they're masking it, aren't they? They're helping, but they're masking it as opposed to.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And no, I totally agree. Yeah. So
tell me about, so you've progressed through that. How many months have you been doing the ice lake for now?
So I started, oh my gosh, it would be kind of like a midwinter, I think, or actually before. I think it was in the fall. Yep. So it would have been like November. I probably kind of started. Okay. And like I just kind of kept doing it. And then it turned out to kind of be like have a go and joke with the guys, right? Whenever they'd be reaching out to me from work or friends at the gym, they'd be like, "Oh, you going in the lake when you get home?" And we'd be putting our winter jackets on, right? So it just kind of got to be a thing. And more people would talk about it, like, "Well, why'd you start doing that?" And I was like, "Well, one of the side effects from my incidents, I can't really regulate my CNS, and this helps it." And then people are like, "Oh, I struggle with that," and it kind of get the ball rolling. Like, there's so much need for it. I just kind of
so you're doing it. Are you doing it every day?
Yeah. So at the time, I was trying to do it every day, but it would average out to every couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But it's now part of your routine, yes?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is like, so now it's getting warmer. We're having a really crappy friggin' so